Slow motion moment.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this is my 9th published book, Hal's Story of the Orange Grove. And thank you, Anthony. And, actually, the story, although it takes place in today's time, it actually was born in the late 90s. When I was writing other stories, I came up with this story called Pals. Basically, I wanted to write a story about friends that turn into enemies, and that was how this concept came to be, about pals. And then later on, I incorporated Orange Grove, and I'll talk about Orange Grove before I talk about the book. Basically, back when I was a teenager, I used to want to be, I wanted to be an actor, actually. That was my first dream, being an actor. And then I wanted to write my own stories and direct and produce and all that stuff. And I also had a fantasy dream of being in a band, a bilingual rock group. And that's how this name came to be, Orange Grove. Because I always told myself that if I was in a band, it would be called Orange Grove. And during the late 90s, I was going through rough times, you all know, dark times. And there was a lot of barriers that were put between me from reaching my dreams that I wanted to do, the acting and just writing and living. But basically, to make a long story short, I'm here to talk about Pals, not my dark chronicles. But basically, many years later, I dug up Pals and decided to rewrite it. So I came up with this story. And it's basically about, I didn't talk about Orange Grove. Well, Orange Grove was born in the late 90s. Like I said, I wanted to be in a bilingual rock group, and that was how Orange Grove came to be. But at the same time, in my mind, I felt that Orange Grove became real. That actually became real. If that it's probably hard to understand because I talk about that more in depth in my 3rd chronicle that I haven't published yet, but eventually I will. But to make a long story short, like I said, many years later, I wanted to use the band Orange Grove in the story of Pals because I didn't want Orange Grove to be, I wanted to reclaim it, validate that name because I came up with it. It was me, part of me. So that was how this story came to be. And basically the story is about 4 Chicano kids that live in a made-up town called Orange Grove. In a city called Orange Grove, yeah. And they go to a high school called Orange Grove. Yeah, and there's orange groves by their high school. No, but it's basically about 4 Chicano kids, and in the beginning they form a pack of, they become blood brothers, and then later on they form a band, and then basically it follows them. It's the story, although it touches a little bit about their youth, it's mostly about their senior year. This whole book is basically their senior year, their class of 2015. So, like I said, it takes place during today's time. So, in my first book, that actually takes place in today's time. And basically, it's about the 4 Chicano kids that are in a band, and it follows them and their journey and their struggles and lives with their other friends and their girlfriends or boyfriends and just stuff like that. It touches stuff about family issues and drama, and it talks, even the kids, 3 of them are part of the rich elite, and one of them comes from a poor family, so there's a lot of issues between that, and just it talks about the rich and the poor, the good and the bad, and friends that turn into enemies and stuff like that. And even Pals, it looks like it's a happy story. Everyone looks happy and, friends. But it's actually a sad story, a sad tale. And in a way, it's like I said in the beginning, it's me living a fantasy life, like the life that I wanted and the life that I could have ended up in, if that makes sense. If you guys read the story, you guys will understand that. But yeah, even though it's a sad, tragic story, there's a lot of good things in here. It's their senior year, so of course there's a lot of good things in there with the friends and the band rising and their all the things that comes with that. But yeah, that's basically what this story is about without giving away too much. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to give away too much. And so, does anyone have any questions?
Who's it dedicated to, the book?
Well, I'll mention that in. Hold on. Well, that comes last.
That picture looks like at the bottom of our old house where the bus stop used to be. The
You're right. I didn't think
trees.
about that. Yeah, we
So
used to
I was
live in the
gonna ask
hills
you
of
if that was-
Riverside.
If you use that as your motivation in the background.
No, I didn't think about that till right now. But yeah, it does look like that. Anyone have a question
You,
about the
you
bus?
have four guys there, but then there's 5.
No, there's 5 guys.
Uh,
No, there's
What-
4 pictures.
One,
shadows.
2,
Four-
3,
four
4,
of
5.
Shadows.
What's
The shadows. The
Oh, the
silhouettes.
shadow silhouettes. Yeah.
Yeah, but below there's 5.
Yeah. No,
You
this
talk
is just
about each
well,
one.
one's a teacher, and these are the
Okay.
4 pals, the 4 friends.
Explain the cover versus the poster.
Well, actually, I was supposed to be on the cover again of my book, but it was my friend Michael that told me that I should have real people on the covers, and
You know?
so thanks to him, I got some pictures and put it together, and my other friend Anthony, he helped me put the book cover together. So thank you, Anthony and Michael, for that. And any other questions before I?
Well, does your, you know, in your autobiography, you have like a tree picture, you know, and you talk about
Yeah.
like, how like that tree is a place that you used to go and like, you know, self-reflect and just, you know, that you've had times. Does the Orange Grove tree have anything like any symbolics?
Well, actually, you know, I was born in Orange, the city of Orange, and then I was raised in Orange County to the age of 13. And we always had an orange tree in our backyard. And then when we moved to Riverside, at the age of 13, there was always orange groves. In our backyard, you could see the orange groves. So Orange Grove was always something that was part of me, my roots, where I came from, where, you know, my youth. And that's why I came up with the name Orange Grove. Shall I?
How long ago did you start working on this story? Because I'd never heard of this one.
Oh, like I said in the beginning, in the late 90s, I came up with the ideas of this story. But I didn't start rewriting it until like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, okay. That's
Do you have like a sub story or like a little piece of the book that you want to share to give us a little preview? Or?
Well, there's a lot to this book. I mean, there's a lot of characters too. Actually, another character that's in this book is Jordan Pena from the Hiding Seekers. He's actually the teacher, and he's the teacher to these kids. But it's like his next chapter, but there's other characters like Pal, Selena Lopez, Dario, Oscar, the jock, and Royce, the bad boy. Nothing to do with Prince Royce.
Is there a character you identify yourself with?
Yes, actually, Palomiro Reyes, he's one of the lead characters in my book, and I identify him with a lot because he's the leader of the band, and you know he's the good guy, and he's the guy that wants to reach for his dreams, and always is always positive and a good guy. So in a way, a lot of my characters are part of me, but Pal is probably one of the most that is a part of me.
He's like the one you
Identify with most?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
He's the one who reached the dream you dreamed of.
Michael?
A lot of your books take place in like high school times or like pre-adolescence. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, well, like I said in my last book party or signing, you know, I started writing when I was a teenager, so all these books were created during those times. That's why, you know, that's why they take place during those times. But like I said, this one takes place in today's time, 2015. Jera?
So since you're no longer in high school, is your next book gonna be outside of high school?
Well, actually, I'm taking a break from writing because I want to focus on sequels to my other stories, like the Vendetta House, the Story Miles, Alistair, and and the Dark Chronicle 3 that I'm gonna publish after Pals in about 2 years. So I haven't come up with new ideas for a new story, but other than my chronicles. But there is Chronicle 4, where most of you are in. So someday I'll publish that one too. Any other questions about the book?
Does it have a happy ending or a sad ending?
Well, like I said earlier, it's actually a sad tale. It ends sad, but it's not all sad. There's good things in here too, with the characters and the friendships and the relationships, and there's a lot of good things, but it ends sad. Yeah. not to give away what it is. Though.
A couple of your books end sad.
Yeah,
Several.
yeah. That well, not everyone's life is a fairy tale, a fantasy, you know, and a lot of movies or books want to depict a happy ending or a good turnout, but in reality, it's not like that for everybody. That's why, you know, a lot of them end sad or are sad. Yeah.
I noticed it's common thread with independent films, like indie films. It's always like sad or something like.
Yeah.
Not always
Wow.
happy.
Black Mirror.
Yeah. Well, everyone's probably wondering who I dedicated this book to. I mean, most of you, some of you even ask and want to be dedicated a book to. But actually, this book is dedicated to two people that I love very much. My nieces, Alani and Anila. Sorry, it made me emotional. I didn't think of it, but yeah, it's dedicated to you guys. So this book's up for you guys. So.
Oh, that was so nice.
So let me find your books.
Oh, you gotta sign it.
So Priscilla, oh, that's for Priscilla. And Mom, it's for you.
Books.
Yeah, a few of you get books. Alani. And Anila.
Thank you.
And I think John, you get one.
Oh, I get one.
Well, yeah, you help a lot with the covers and stuff.
Okay, so
Angie, you get one. You're welcome. And who else gets one? Oh, my dad. My dad gets one.
Oh, you forgot me.
No.
Thanks, man.
Oh, Priscilla and Mom. Here.
Thank you, mi amor.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. So can we take
You guys can say
actually,
something if you
hold on.
want.
You girls wanna say anything to him?
I don't really know what to say. I mean, I've never really had anything like this before. Oh,
No, just say it.
Oh. Yes.
we've
from the
both
heart.
been through so much, and for you to take your time, you know, to write a book and dedicate to us, it means a lot to me.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of you for all of your books, and I know the last book was kind of like more of a challenging one for you to
Yeah.
come out with, and so for you to share your life with everyone, and it's very brave of you, and really appreciative to have you as my Theo, and
Thank you.
thank you for
Love you.
everything.
Thank you. Love you guys. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Right here, guys.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you again for coming, and I hope you guys get really much
Oh, we're missing one. It's still recording.
Okay, oh, is this just family? Oh, go ahead, fam.
No, no.
It's the family, Angie.
Angie's like, let me be in the middle.
okay.
Smile. 1, 2, 3.